Hey, it's Tree, and I'm back for another video. Today is day 7 and 8 of 100 days of Wakefield Comics. I kind of ended up taking an unintentional break, but also there wasn't enough footage for day 7, so that's why today they're together. I finished page 8 and sketching that page. I did line art of Frankie's outfit references for chapter 3. And I started sketching a new icon. So again, I'm going to lay in bed and talk some more. So after AP English, I ended up with a brand new teacher for my senior year of English. You would have to have 4, so 1 every year. And she was nice. I did let her know that I had AP English before, and I told her that I didn't want to take AP English again because I was afraid that I would have that teacher again. And I think she understood that. I don't really know. But she was nice to me, and I ended up passing that class with A's. I also ended up breaking up with my ex-girlfriend around that time, because everything just ended up coming to head. I realized a lot of things about my life, and it came to a breaking point, and I just knew it wasn't going to work out. And they kind of knew it too. I feel like we're on much better terms now because we still follow each other on social media, but I was still making OCs at that point and wanting to turn them into a story. But anytime I would sit down and write, I just didn't feel great about it. I just hated looking at my writing at that point. I could only think about my AP English teacher's critiques on my work. I ended up graduating in 2016, and I started college right away, the fall of 2016. One of the classes I took was Composition 1 in math. I only ended up taking those 2 courses because my older sibling, Sunny, she didn't do well in college, and it wasn't a good environment for them. So my mom was kind of worried about my well-being, about being in college. And in a way, she was kind of right to be worried. I was really depressed, and I didn't have any friends at that point. The friends that I had in high school weren't really the best friends I could have, and just we didn't end up at the same college and stuff like that. Or they went on to get work in the real world, I guess is what you could say. And the online friends that I had were friends with my ex-girlfriend. So after we broke up, they ended up harassing me online. Basically, if I didn't have them blocked on social media, they would at me over and over again, just calling me names, things like that. I remember they even made a video about my friend's face and comparing his likeness to a potato. That's what I think, at least. I already told you I wasn't good at math, so I ended up failing math. I would sit down to write my essays for Composition 1, and I couldn't do it, so I ended up failing English again. And then because I didn't pass those courses, my mom was too scared to put me back in college because it would be a waste of money. And I don't really blame her, but that year off from college, I tried to apply to jobs, and I ended up getting a job at McDonald's for like 3 days, but I couldn't handle it because of my anxiety. I was so depressed about what had happened and what had happened to me. But by the end of that year, I ended up going back to college, and I started passing my classes again. I had to take Composition 1 again, but this time I actually sat down and began writing and taking the directions into mind, as well as just trying to do the prompts correctly. I was so scared at first because this teacher wanted me to, again, have other students critique my work. I had so much anxiety over reading my work in these groups and having them give me feedback. But again, I got kind of nervous because the students didn't really have anything to critique me on. So I got scared and I thought this was going to be AP English all over again. So I waited for my teacher to give me my paper back. And I didn't get the grade I was expecting. The paper I ended up writing was basically about the time my brother passed away from cancer. And a large thing that happened for me at that time was the fact that I started experiencing anxiety and depression. So that paper was mostly about how when they told me he passed away, I experienced a large portion of depersonalization. I just largely felt like I was watching myself instead of actually feeling things. And that was what that paper was about. So this is what my teacher ended up saying. Wow, I don't know what to say right now. I am shaking and I have a tear rolling down my cheek. I don't know when the last time was that I had a piece of writing affect me the way that this one has. The subject of the memoir is heartbreaking. I'm so sorry about your brother. I feel like I was there with you as this was happening. You are an amazingly talented writer. You're one of the best writers that I've had in my 20-some years of teaching. Your writing style is so natural, smooth, and calm. I could feel your deep emotions in your writing. I could go on and on. I am shocked that you doubt yourself. You have to do something with this gift. She gave me 105. I think I cried when I read that. When I turned in my assignments that semester, I consistently got high grades, which shocked me. I was so surprised that someone could think that highly of my writing. I ended up telling her about my AP English experience, and she was just so surprised that I went through that. She ended up suggesting that I submit my work to my college's magazine, where they basically showcase art and writing, and I ended up winning second place for my writing, and my art didn't get in. I also ended up taking English 2 online, and one of the things that I've realized because of AP English, I now know how to bullshit papers really well. Is it bad that that's the only thing I've learned how to do because of AP English? I don't know. So after that point, I ended up starting to write again, and I don't feel that terrible about it anymore. Sure, there are days where I'm not happy with it, or I'm just not pleased with the direction a draft is going, or I think that the draft needs improvements as a whole, but that doesn't matter because the next version is going to be much better than the last. And I can say that because of my experience in Composition 1, I stopped taking to heart what my advanced English teacher was telling me. I kind of feel bad for the younger version of myself for going through that, but I feel, I guess, stronger because of what happened in Composition 1. And that was my AP English experience and what happened to me after AP English. I also definitely can't say I hold a grudge against this teacher, but also, in a way, a very petty way, I showed her that my writing was better than she said it was. And I also ended up submitting a short story for the 2020 version of that magazine, and I still haven't heard word back of how that did, but I'm hoping to turn that short story into a comic one day. I just need to find time to do it. I don't plan on making a comic out of my first story that I talked about, mainly because it's a personal thing that happened to me and it's still kind of hard for me to talk about. But maybe one day I can also release a collection of short stories. I think that'd be fun. Anyway, I hope you enjoy listening to me talk for however long. And I will see you next time.